Hi, I'm Lela O'Dell. I'm from Oklahoma City. This quilt is titled Plush Curiosities. It is actually the back end of a scrappy quilt. It is made entirely from cashmere. This is the second cashmere backside that I've done. The first one is a beloved couch quilt for my family. And since I have 3 children, that one quilt doesn't suffice. So I needed to make a second one. And the scrappy quilt was something that I thought, well, I'll turn that into a couch quilt. It's not an art quilt, you know. But then it got interesting, and it became a practice of me just exploring my curiosity, and it got a lot more intentional than just to slap together. So I work in predominantly repurposed materials. I have been quilting since my youngest was 2. It was my way of figuring out my voice, my point of view, saved my sanity while I was in the throes of parenting very young people. It was something I could do that stayed put together, unlike laundry or peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or clean children. So I found my community through quilting. I continue to find my community through quilting. So it's a very special thing for me. Repurposed materials, it's such a joy to give what was discarded a new life, a new purpose. It's still fabric, it won't last forever, but that impermanence is special to me, and it's interesting, and I like to work with that. The cashmere has been washed and dried at least half a dozen times to get it to start to tighten up. But I know that it will continue to tighten up as the years go by, as evidenced by the first one that I did. So it isn't static. It will continue to have its own life as the years go by. I was originally wanting to minimize the seams, so I was using the biggest amount of cashmere that I had, and then filling in with scraps. This orange was my favorite, and I had a very diminished supply of it, so I decided, because it's secondhand cashmere, there's holes inherently in the material. And so where you see the little bits are where I have patched the holes. And then the imperfection becomes the star, which I also find very interesting.
Can we see
the front slash back? Yeah, it's a scrap quilt. So the triangles are from making binding. Early on, I had seen the idea of saving your binding triangles as like an album of past makes. And so I started just squirreling my triangles away in a shoebox for a time when I just needed to sew without really thinking. And that time came when I had a cervical injury and was in too much pain to really be able to do anything but stand up and do something that would get my mind off of the pain. And so the front of the quilt served that purpose. It was what got me through that really painful period. And so.